But if you could share with us, I'm going to say two, maybe three of the biggest trends that you have seen and you've observed and you've learned that leaders and businesses need to shift into doing, even though it might be uncomfortable, to attract and retain talent today.
Yes, absolutely. So I think the first one is remote work is not a perk, it's expected. So I'll say it again. Remote work is not a perk, it's expected. And nearly half of the US workforce is saying that they want flexibility and they value it. And so, one way or the other, if you have a rigidity around remote work, that's going to be a challenge for you. So, my advice would be define the roles that can be remote, define the roles that have to be that are hybrid, and define the roles that are in person. Do
Mhm.
that up front. Which is another kind of key, like transparency, right? Be honest about which roles you've identified. Um, I think the other piece, and I touched on this already, is speed and time to hire is a deal breaker. So the average time it takes to fill a job is 44 days. Right now, it's looking more like 10. So
Wow.
if you think
Okay.
about, right, I remember, when I was, oh gosh, this is circa 2010, I remember we used to run a 30, 60, 90-day aging Rex report, right? And we would
Mhm.
be looking at, okay, if you're 30 days, you're in the green, then it's yellow, then it's red. That is not the case anymore. We are doing things much faster, technology enabled, and if you are waiting, you will get left behind. And I just had this happen, Aisha. I had this role that's hard to fill, and I told my folks, you got to be with me. We got to be quick. I'm going to need you to turn this around and make it into an offer. Otherwise, you're going to be circling quite a bit. And people,
Right.
it's kind of like a house, the house that's on the market for a long time. And after a while, people are like, what? There must be something wrong. So you
Right.
also don't want to be that employer whose rec is out there aging a long time. So speed is of the essence. Um, and I think one of the other elements I would say is you need to think beyond the health, sorry, like the kind of health benefits and 401k, those traditional benefits.
Yes.
Today,
Absolutely.
today folks want, I just touched on it too, corporate wellness. People want to learn more about the stress cycle, meal planning, meditation. These are things where folks, these topics and wellness and all this kind of stuff was taboo in a lot of ways, right? That's not the way it is anymore. People are able to talk freely about their views, what they feel strongly about, what they value, and you're going to need to look beyond the traditional methods of incentivizing people. And what's going to happen, I also believe, is it's not going to be optional. They're not going to be perks. Again, those are going to turn into expectations, and people are going to be asking you, so what do you do for wellness at your company? You know, what do you offer sabbaticals? Those are going to come back. So I think what we're going to see is a number of expectations are going to continue to be on the rise. They're not going to be optional.
Yes, and I think definitely that wellness piece, it came about a lot more during the pandemic, where we started to really have conversations about acknowledging how do you feel, where are you right now, and so it's slowly become to be immersed in a lot of companies, and people are expecting it. So I definitely agree with that.